I like to ramble, ramble. I like to ramble, ramble. I like to ramble. Welcome to the innermost ramblings of Fiona. I'm Fiona and I like to ramble. It's actually been the way that I'm learning to get to know myself. I started voice memoing myself and feeling my truth as I speak. Like, does that feel good in my body? That's not quite right. I'll keep talking and then feeling, oh wow, yeah, that is not. So this is where I ramble and process whatever is alive, whatever is staring in me in any given moment, and invite you to listen. Maybe you find some identification. Maybe you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Or maybe you're like, what? That's not my truth. And I hope that you'd seek out your truth as you listen. Listen to your body, listen to your responses, and maybe even do a little rambling of your own. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoy. A disclaimer before we jump into it. These are voice memos that are voice memos. They are infiltrated by wind sounds and cars going past, or me being in the car, or they are not perfect audio. I can't sit down and have the same processing effect. There's often movement involved. I like being outside or standing up, or so my audio is unedited and authentic to the environment that I'm in. Sometimes noise is better than words. I just feel like so much in me is shifting. In the best way, like in the most, I've felt very teary today. Again, in a cracked open, this is how I want to live way. And now that I say that, there's probably an element of like, how do I stay on the edges? How do I stay in my edges? Because that's where connection happens. And that's where my freedom lies. Like, I'm inspired by myself. And like, I say that and I'm surprised, and there's an element of like, I don't think you're supposed to be inspired by yourself. That's a little arrogant. That's one of my shadow things that I'm uncomfortable being. Like, what happens if I'm arrogant? What happens if I just believe in myself? I almost don't have words. I want to be with this experience in myself and speak about it, because it is feeling so new and delightful, and yeah. So it has been building. It started at Humanity in the immersion, and I think the moment where I started to understand this connection piece was the connection piece that started unraveling this was, we did this exercise, game, play. We were invited to connect with another person, palm to palm, shut our eyes and take in turns who was moving their hands. And I'm moving my hand in front of me at the moment, which you cannot see, but just moving my hand. And what was most profound for me was how much, I want to say how safe, how much more I enjoyed it when I let the other person move. It is one of the most profound things that I've ever done. The level of connection and the level of just like my whole body was alive, and the things that I saw, like it was like I was swimming underneath the water and in the ocean, and it was all the colors were just vibrant, and there were fish and like coral and like I mean, I have no idea what was going on for the other person, but it was profound. Like, it just moved so much energy in me. All my chakras were, not all of them maybe, I was just very aware of my root chakra and my heart chakra, and then my hand chakras and the connection piece. And yeah, like the I don't know, it really started shifting stuff for me, like the connection that is available, and how intimate that was. Even like, I guess I'm just coming to understand that intimacy isn't just a sexual thing. It's an energy of connection. It's the energy of connection, perhaps, or one of these the expressions of. Ooh, I'm walking under a bridge. Bit echoey. One of the expressions of intimacy, or one of the expressions of connection, perhaps, and that there are so many nuances to that, in the sense that, like, so this experience was the first, and I've had more experiences now. It's like when I slow down and allow myself. I went to Sunday Fun Day, and there was an opportunity to sit across from someone else, eye gaze, and then without words, share touch, ask for consent, gain consent, say that you like it, all without words, say that it's good, or you want something different, like. And my partner took my hands, and there was very little movement, very little touch, but it was just, again, it was a full-bodied experience. It was like my whole body was experiencing that touch, as an intimate thing, as an experience full of sensation, and their feedback to me was, like, you just looked so inquisitive, like you're so inquisitive, and I don't know, I love that. Again, it makes me teary to realize that I'm inquisitive and I'm quite playful. Like, there's an element of playfulness that comes with this inquisitiveness that I've never recognized in myself, and it's so nice. It's so nice to have that feedback, and it's so nice to have spaces to explore this with people, and then to realize, like, this is available in all my moments, because this isn't something that's like outside of myself. It's inside of me, and the only reason I can experience it is because I'm opening to myself more, opening to my own connection more, and that feels new, like so new, and then today, just like, I'm gonna jump around a bit, but I go to authentic relating calls, classes, whatever you want to call them, connection places, spaces held once a week to connect with people who practice authentic relating, which is a modality that has changed my life, people. It's just, yeah, I come away just in awe of myself and of humanity more and more. And so grateful and feeling connected and feeling seen and realizing like that's what I want to bring, and they're the places and spaces that I want to lean into more. We were chatting about like the ways, well, owning my experience and the way that I don't own my experience, or we as a human race, but part of owning my experience is using first person language. So just, yeah, really sitting with that, and the naming of what I want, and realizing that often I don't know how to articulate it, and thus shrink it, or I feel too much weird. I feel weird. I feel different. I feel like what I want is too much, or sometimes I just don't even know what I want. We did an exercise and they invited us to 5 minutes. We got the floor to ask 2 other people to do whatever we wanted with them, or they with us. And like I was like, well, I don't know. I just found myself so teary that someone would stay with me for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And I filled it up with talking, when really what I wanted, I just want, just be with me, just connect with me, just see me without me having to fill a space or become bigger or smaller in a space. And just like I feel like I'm struggling to find, like, these are simple things, but they make such a difference. And then an authentic relating friend and I chatted for a bit afterwards, after the session, and just the way that I'm experiencing connection just feels so different now. It feels so like I don't have enough words. Like, I'm just so grateful for it, and I feel myself opening to it more and acknowledging it more. Like, I used to not be able to acknowledge it, acknowledge how good it felt, because like, what happens if love goes away? But realizing, like, naming how good it feels actually means it stays longer, because it's a continual expanding rather than just like an ending. And all of that somehow is bringing me home to myself. Like, yeah, I got to a point today where I was like, I just need to make art. Something in me is moving in such a way that I want to make art with this. I want to process it. And that's how I process it. That and talking about it. So that's what I'm doing. But like, yeah, just realizing, like, I guess the picture I get is this box that I was told, not I guess, the picture I get is this box that I was told was full of dangerous things. Like, don't open the freaking box. It's explosive. And whoever told me that, or wherever I got that from, the fear that I have around it, and Sorry, I'm just trying to work out where I'm going. The fear that I have around it is, well, don't open this box. And I got that from somewhere. Like, I have to keep all my love inside. I have to keep all of my desire inside. I can't own it. I can't say that I want it. I can't, like, none of that's okay. And I have to keep all of me inside too. Like, don't receive it. I can't, there's nothing I can ever do that will earn it. And just realizing, like, no, that is so not true. It's because I exist, I am love, and it already is in me. And like, I can't earn it. That is the truth. But not in a way like, I'll never get it, I'll never have it, it's not accessible. It is accessible, it's in me first. There are a lot of cars going over the top of my head. Another bridge. And then to realize just how my body is experiencing this differently. Like, I can feel my chest expanding. I long to reach out and touch people, and like, there's still this tendency in me to shrink it and to move back and to dim it and to lessen how much I want the thing that I want, or like, yeah, like, lessen it, which ties in with this piece that I've been sitting with about taking up space. Like, I take up physical space, energetic space, no matter what I'm doing. And I've spent so much of my life shrinking, apologizing, wanting not to be an inconvenience, living as an apology. And like, I'm sorry for being here. I'm sorry if I make you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm weird. I'm sorry about that. And I have these beautiful friends in my life now that are starting to say, weird is your superpower. Like, just live it. That's what we love about you. Weird still triggers a lot in me. Like, I've always been the weird kid, the weird one, the one who has weird food and smells funny, and I've experienced weird as a nasty thing, as a reason for rejection. But like, I'm realizing one of the exercises we did today was naming something I know is true, something I know for sure. And something I know for sure is that me living in my truth feels so good in my body. Like, me not shrinking, me not amending or like editing my truth at all. Yeah, it feels so good. That is home, that is freedom. Which, funnily enough, feels very similar to this loving, this expansion in my chest, and this realization that, like, I don't know, it feels good to meet my edges. Like, I have always been afraid of it, but it's the sensations in my body, and there are a lot of messages, I suppose, in my body that have limited my capacity. But it's like, I don't know, it just feels like, what happens if I just keep leaning into this? What happens? and I'm afraid that I'll go back. But I speak that now, and I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I know I've tasted it. I've tasted what tribe tastes like, feels like in my body. I'm beginning to taste like the nuances of intimacy, I suppose. Like what I was saying about the hand thing before. Like, it doesn't have to be full body touching for it to be full body experience. Like, that slowing down to really experience myself and then another is profound. I think the other thing that's just moving as like this complete surprise in me is Sunday fun day. We did an ice bath at the beach, and I've avoided the beach like the plague for a lot of my life, and I didn't realize until humanity that well, I thought I didn't like the beach, to be honest, but I think it's just been the things the beach makes me feel, as in I feel a lot of insecurity around my body, and again, I was the weird person. My betas were always weird. And there's a lot of self-conscious stuff around my body, in my body, about being in my body, and yeah, to like I guess really sit with that. And yeah, there's been a period of just like shame, that I feel shame, like I should be able to just, confidence comes from within, just muster it up. But I'm realizing that even that's an old program. Like, no, it's landing in it and sitting with it and leaning into it and leaning into it again and finding that edge. Like, it really is, that's where the freedom comes, not just bypassing it or forcing myself not to feel what I'm feeling so that I can do the thing anyway. Wow, that's like, yeah, restricting the flow. So we had an ice bath, and I've had ice baths before, and I've kind of just felt utterly self-conscious, but something shifted in me, and it was a freeing experience to get into a bikini and get into the ice bath. And then I danced around after. Like, I didn't wrap myself back in clothes again straight away, leaning into that edge. Like, I never in a million years thought I would be able to do that. And I think it will continue to be an edge for a little while, but man, I feel so invincible. All I did was wear a bikini, but that is huge. Like, I feel comfortable in my body. And realizing as I get more comfortable in my body by myself, it means that I'm able to be more comfortable with others in my body, and that's what's allowing for this connection. Like, I'm not trying to change my body or shame my body. I'm leaning into the places where I do still feel shame, and like, even to start being like, I have a beautiful body, and the feeling of arrogance around that and discomfort. But like, it's true. Every body is beautiful, and I see so much beauty in other people's bodies. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was like, your body is beautiful. And they're like, your body's beautiful. So it's baffling to each other that we struggle to find and accept that. And yet it's so easy to see in other people. But I say that, and then I'm like, I can only see in others what's already existing in me. So it exists in me. And I'm noticing that as I'm finding more and more beauty around me, probably because I'm finding more and more beauty within me, and vice versa. Like, which came first? I don't know, but there's just this appreciation for beauty way more. I just feel so different. I just feel so like expanded, and as I speak this, like my chest and my arms want to open, and there is this longing for connection to other people in a way that's not been there before. And I don't know, part of me is like, I've gone from loving my alone space a lot to wanting to be with people more, and that scares me a bit. I don't want to become reliant, but there's got to be this healthy, there is this healthy balance, and I'm in the process of inquiry and experimenting with that, and really getting clear about, like, yeah, I want connections that are not surface level. I want to dive deep. And deep doesn't necessarily mean like deep all the time. I think it's truth speaking, acknowledging what is. Like, today, my friend made the point, like, she's like, I'm going to go back to the surface, say something surfacey. And then shared that she loved animals and wanted animals in her life for the rest of her life. And I was like, that doesn't feel surfacey at all. Like, that feels really intimate for this time and place that you're sharing and how you shared it. Like, to allow all of those parts to be witnessed and speaking to what's true, like not having to, like, every level of communication, surface level, like small talky stuff, or what I would call small talky stuff, can be as delightful if it's, and this is what I'm wondering, like, this is my inquiry, it can be as delightful if it is blah, like, I'm not sure what that blah is, if it's rooted in truth and honoring self and other, and sharing what is real. And I guess there's that, like, I'm starting to realize that it's the energy of the sharing, not necessarily the words that are spoken, but the willingness to be present and the willingness to be witnessed. And again, I feel like there's so much more. Like, I could just ramble on about. I made art today, which I mentioned, and my sister has given me a couple of images, and just this desire to, like, here's an edge, this desire to kiss people, platonically, just on the cheek, on the forehead, maybe even on the shoulder. I have not done that yet, but, like, I have this friend who is so open with her kissing, and every time she sees me, she just gives me a kiss, and it's not as a response, or I feel like I have to because she is. It's like, this is what it feels, and I'm starting to have framework for it. Like, once upon a time, it just made me uncomfortable, or I didn't feel anything, and now there's just this, like, warmth and this joy and this, like, and my body feels good. It feels good. It's our little puppy dog. And like, again, not as a response, but like knowing it's like an overflow of something within me that's already there, that feels good, that feels, it's a chest thing, it's a I don't know, a full-bodied yes thing. It's such a different experience of kissing, like of affection. Affection I have felt has been almost obligation, or like this is what you do when you see someone. And yeah, experiencing my own affection so differently, experiencing myself so differently, and yeah, like it doesn't feel like this sinful thing, or this thing I'm not allowed to want. It's like coming home, and it's like landing inside my body and finding myself in my pajamas with my socks on at home on the couch. Like, I don't have to dress up or trackies on, or like, yeah, like I'm just home. And more I'm just home in my body with me, and like home in my body with others, because yeah, what happens inside happens outside. And I don't know how to bring that to all my places, all my spaces. I'm noticing how often I still want to shrink with people that I'm like, they might not get me, they might not. And so I shrink. And yeah, just the constriction that creates in me, and the resentment, and how really that's me not owning my experience. That's me people pleasing and managing how others might feel without giving them a chance to feel what they feel. Yeah. All of that feels very new and very good, actually. Like, not it's in the leaning into the edges of like in the past I would just, I guess, restrict myself and shrink myself and feel resentful. But now I'm like, I'm meeting that with curiosity and with I don't know, just, oh, hello, here's an edge. Like, I experience it differently. Yeah. I feel like there's just so many things. And I don't have words for all of them, and that's okay too. And I don't need to speak to all of them. They're all growing and becoming deeper and fuller, these experiences in me. Yeah. More noise, more sounds. So now I'm back to sounds, and that's where I started. I will sign off. Thank you once again for just journeying with me. I am so aware of the honor it is that you spend time with me, with me in your ears. That is not lost on me at all. Ooh, puppy dogs. Thank you. And there you have it, folks. Another episode of The Innermost Ramblings of Fiona in the Books. Thanks for coming along. Please like and subscribe and share and do all those things. And if you want to find me on socials in between time, you can find me at _innermost_ramblings on Instagram, or check the show notes for other ways to connect. Until next time, have a brilliant, beautiful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, whenever you are listening to this. From my heart to yours. Bye.